Entonces, tú te sientes nervioso cuando vas a hablar en español con alguien. Tú sientes que te congelas, que no sabes qué decir cuando quieres hablar español. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to get over the fear of speaking Spanish. And it's actually easier than you might think. So, the first thing that we need to do is accept that mistakes are part of the process. You can't learn how to speak fluent Spanish without messing up. Like I wrote here, every fluent speaker that you admire has made thousands of mistakes. Right now, you might listen to me speaking Spanish and say, wow, Nate speaks really good Spanish. I want to get to that level. When in reality, you didn't see the many times where I made a fool of myself, where I made mistakes, and I messed up in front of people. Okay, it would happen to me all the time. And it still happens to me. Maybe I forget a word or I feel nervous talking to a different person. Okay, so it is normal, but you got this. Okay, so like Michael Jordan said, you have to make mistakes in order to get better, right? So if you're making mistakes, it's evidence that you're improving. Next is to lower the stakes. So don't worry about speaking with maybe your romantic partner's parents, or if you have coworkers who speak really fast, maybe you're not super close to them, or maybe you're trying to speak with people at work, but they're in a rush and they're stressed out. Maybe don't practice with these people because it's not going to be the best learning experience for you. Speak with people like friends who are patient, or a language partner that you have, whether that's online or in person. A tutor, perfect person to practice making mistakes with. Or people, that you see when you go to Starbucks or your favorite coffee shop. But just think about low stakes situations when you can speak Spanish. Next is to use rehearsed starter phrases. So this is actually a really good tip because you might need to know how to say como se dice like 20 million times during a sentence. And I still do this. If I'm going to go to, my favorite taco stand or whatever, I might think in my head, okay, what do I want to order? I want to get, tacos de nopales con huevo. Okay, how would I say that? Or what if I want to ask for this? Or, oh, right, is this feminine, masculine? I still do this, especially when I'm talking about more advanced things. Okay, so memorize 10 to 20 phrases that you can fall back on. Something like, me puedes decir, me puedes repetir eso, habla un poquito más despacio, por favor. Dame un segundo para pensar. So give me a second to think. But these are all nice phrases that you can use in order to have more successful conversations with people. Okay? Next is you could just practice speaking without a real human first. So in the age of AI, you can use something like ChatGPT and talk to it before you go out into the real world and speak with a human. Or you can speak to yourself. I'm a huge fan of speaking to yourself in Spanish. It will help a lot. So whether that's in the mirror or to your phone camera, or if you're watching a video of a native Spanish speaker, you can try to shadow and imitate what they're saying. Okay, next is just focus on communication. You don't need to worry about perfection. The idea here is that you want to be understood. You don't need to say everything perfectly. So maybe you use por when you should have used para, or ser when you should have used estar. We're always going to make mistakes. However, the key is that someone understands you. Yeah, maybe you'll make a mistake and maybe you'll feel embarrassed, but at the end of the day, that Spanish speaker will have understood what you're trying to say. And as time goes on and the more you speak, the less and less mistakes you'll make. Okay? Like I said, rehearse the situations that you fear most. So this is kind of like practicing those different phrases. So if you go to your favorite Mexican restaurant, once a week, practice for that situation. So say, okay, I love ordering las enchiladas. How would I order that? What can I do? So that when you go to do it and you don't freeze up. Because many times students will know that they're going to go to a restaurant where the workers speak Spanish. But once they get there, in the heat of the moment, they freeze up. They feel embarrassed. They feel like, I just don't know enough. And so they don't even try. Don't let this happen to you. Practice beforehand. Okay, yo quiero las enchiladas, por favor. Yo quiero un agua de Jamaica, por favor. So on and so forth. It's not cheating, okay? This is how we learn. Next is to build tiny wins. So a 10-second conversation with someone, a casual hola as you walk by someone, or a gracias, or a buen dia. That's fine. There was a story where I was walking around my neighborhood and there were some guys painting a house. I heard them speaking in Spanish, and so I said something to them like, hola, buenas tardes, or something like that. They said, oh, buenas tardes. That little interaction led to us having a few minute conversation. At the end of the conversation, this guy said to me, hey, thanks for making my day. It's really cool that you learned my language. Imagine that, just because I said buenas tardes. Okay, so start small. Okay, whether it's, just gracias, buen día, whatever. Next is to track your progress. Maybe you feel like, oh, I don't know, I'm not good enough. Well, if you start tracking your progress, then maybe you won't feel that way. So write down new phrases that you used when you had a conversation, situations that you survived. Oh, I was able to order at my favorite Mexican restaurant. You know what? It actually wasn't that bad. Or moments when you understood someone. Oh, it was so cool. I was at the grocery store and I actually understood what they were talking about. Inside the Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy, we like to share wins that we have with each other so that we can motivate each other. Hey, I went to a concert and I was able to speak Spanish. Oh, yeah, I was out and about in my town and I was able to help someone who was, looking for the courthouse or whatever. Okay, so track your progress. Next, remember, being a beginner should not be embarrassing. People love when you try to learn their language, and you get instant respect just for making the effort. Half the fear disappears when you realize that people are rooting for you. I used to think, I don't want to inconvenience them. They're going to think I'm dumb or whatever. 99% of people are not going to think like that. In fact, 99% of people are going to say, wow, that's so cool they're learning my language. Hey, that's fun. Maybe I'm going to teach them some swear words or whatever. Or I'm going to ask them to marry my daughter. The list goes on. People want you to learn their language, and they respect you for learning their language. Not many foreigners try to learn Spanish and have the guts to go out and speak with people. So I have very intelligent students, but many of them are held back by their fear of speaking. So don't let this be you. And finally, speak every day. So even if it's just for a couple minutes, just like going to the gym, the more consistent you are, the more results you're going to see. So consistency is going to build your confidence, and it's going to help you get rid of that fear, okay? So there you have it. That is how you get over the fear of speaking Spanish. Get out there. People want to help you, and be consistent. Tú puedes. Muchas gracias por ver este video. If you'd like to learn more Spanish with me, click the link in the video description to join our Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy. Our goal is to help you have a 10-minute conversation in Spanish in 90 days without feeling unconfident. So you can check it out by clicking the link in the video description. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.